What I'm going to look at here today is, I suppose, marketing to a new landscape here, which we find ourselves in, and very much in the virtual world. We've talked a lot about live streaming, hybrid classes, and whilst I'm very cognizant of the fact that marketing, we could spend 2 days talking about it, particularly digital marketing, I want to just give, I think, an overview of how the best pathways to communicate your brand in this new virtual landscape. Hopefully you can take away a few ideas today. I'm sure there'll be a number of things here which a lot of people will be familiar with. But hopefully what I'd like to do is get you thinking a little bit more. And remember that there's a wealth of resource in Mindbody to support you in doing this. So it's going to be a very general presentation and show you some examples and things that are quite relevant to what have already been spoken about within the panelists here, and just take them a little bit further. I just want to give you a little bit of background about myself, Paul Hickey, based in also a very dull and dreary and rainy Dublin here, so just across the channel from the UK and obviously from mainland Europe. Let's not hide that. So I'm, as I said, a certified Mindbody consultant for the last 2 years. I'm also a business owner in terms of an ownership of a very successful Pilates business in Dublin. We've been operating for 9 years in Dublin here, very successfully, financial profitably. We were running 72 classes a week pre-COVID, which reduced to 45 when we went into various forms of lockdown, which we'll go over. So as well as being a consultant, that word consultant, I'm very much engaged in the day-to-day running of a Pilates business and the challenges which has ensued from the pandemic. So some insights, I hope, into how we have dealt with them, in some ways successfully, but it's also obviously a learning curve which we have gone through here as well. And I also have a number of clients throughout the world in various jurisdictions, ranging from Beijing to California to Toronto, North Carolina, Hamburg, London, Nice in France. So I've also learned a lot from them on their journeys and have helped them, hopefully, pivoting, to use that word, which has become embedded in our vocabulary these days, and helping them with the challenge of bringing their brand and their offering online in the first instance, but also how they're communicating that to their wider audience. And I mean that by new customers as well as existing customers. Some years ago, I don't come from the wellness background as such. I come from a corporate background from a FTSE 100 company, which some of you in the UK will be familiar with, Rentokil Initial. I was a director for a number of years there. But a number of years ago, when I got out of that corporate business, I retrained and reskilled in digital marketing, taking a digital marketing degree. I suppose at the time I felt that was the future. And it just so happens with COVID that it's become more and more relevant all the time in terms of delivering and communicating the message. Also this year, proud to say we were awarded an All Ireland Business Stars accreditation, which allows me to be a part of a very good network of very astute and learned business people within the community in Dublin. Again, that's an ongoing learning piece for me as well. And so it's very interesting to be involved in seeing what other businesses are doing in this difficult time as well. So that's just a little bit about myself. I just want to start with this slide, which is, I suppose, just a contextual overview of where I see things. Crisis, what crisis? A crisis is also an opportunity. And I think it may be Winston Churchill, though I think others may take credit for the saying, in every crisis lies an opportunity. But since the outbreak or the initial COVID pandemic start, I suppose, back in March, this is something which has come to me a lot, that yes, we're in a crisis, but also there is an opportunity. Business people emerge strongest are those who learn to question the conventional wisdom about management and leadership. And I think we've even seen that from our three panelists there, questioning the way we do things, looking at innovative ways of bringing their brand to market. I think that's hugely important. And certainly for us, the future will belong to leaders who can help their teams prepare for an era of perpetual change. And I think that's very much where we find ourselves now. It is a new learning environment for all of us. There are challenges, but there is opportunity, and that's the positivity. And I think Phil alluded to that earlier on. And I'll come to it in the presentation. We have certainly seen massive opportunity in terms of delivering our brand and our services to a much wider audience, a much more global audience. And I'll show you some real live examples of that as we go through the presentation. But I think the positivity that remains with me in particular and with my clients is opportunity, and embrace the opportunity that is here. I can see there the prices. What we'll cover today in terms of an agenda is we'll talk about revising your brand messaging. Clear brand messaging and positioning is very, very important. We'll talk about where are you now. It's a changing environment. You know, what you therefore will need to have a changing proposition. I think that's been spoken about already this morning. What you must do now to compete. I think that's very relevant, and just to stay on that for a moment. With the clients I have, and I have a number of clients in the UK, and in terms of the initial statistics that Phil put on the screen there, I think I saw about 75% Pilates and yoga. Sorry, I'll just go back. What I've seen, and again, this is real life in terms of the clients I have, I've sensed in recent times there's been a little bit of a pushback on the live stream, which to me has been a little bit concerning. And particularly, and I know there's a number of yoga studios on here, in terms of delivering the proposition, the service, the yoga class online. Not only have they found it challenging, but there's a sense that people don't necessarily want that. And I suppose specific examples are, you know, if you're delivering a hot yoga class, for example, obviously the same experience cannot be manifested through a screen. It goes without saying that that hot yoga environment is important. It's an in-studio type environment that people want. I've seen people veering away from that. And really where they are partially open, even with reduced capacity, wanting to deliver that service within their class in studio format, which is obviously what we understand that is the need, and that's what the customers need. My advice from what I've seen with clients is, you know, this is a major mistake. There is no question that we're heading for a potentially even more deadly second wave, and I'm going to come to that in Ireland because it's very relevant as of yesterday to where we are. And I'll come to that in a minute, because we, as of tomorrow, are going back into full lockdown. And I suppose this depends on what country you're in and where are you in the trajectory of the development of this virus. But there's no doubt in my mind, it is essential in my view that you're prepared to have a live stream offer in the absence of in-studio classes. During the first lockdown, I saw too many studios who didn't adapt their offering quickly enough and suffered through loss of clients as a result. So my overall message here is that there are some things you have to do. And I think live stream now has become, live stream and the various components, be it hybrid or pure live stream, are essential components, because from what I can see, and it's great from what Phil said, that the UK are not including studios at this time. That's not the case in the jurisdiction here in Ireland, and it may not be the case throughout Europe, whether it be in France or Germany or the Netherlands. So there are obviously varying scales of this. However, having said all of that, it is critical that you communicate what offerings you have in a clear manner, even while seeking out new clients. So things you must do to compete. New world pricing ideas I want to just touch on in terms of the integration of the Mindbody software, and how you can look at that in terms of communicating what your pricing structure is. And I know Zoe was speaking there about different pricing options, whether you should charge a lower rate for hybrid or live stream. I think there are varying arguments around that, neither which are right or wrong. It really is about what suits your brand and your proposition. So we'll talk a little bit more in depth about pricing structures tomorrow, and how important they are, because they're obviously a very important part of what we're doing. One of the key words to me throughout all of this, and two key words, are integration and engagement. I'll come back to them a lot. The integration is hugely important. And what I want to do is a couple of deep dives into the software, just to show you some things about how you can integrate your proposition. I think there are things there that you can leverage in the software, which from my experience, a lot of clients I come across don't even know it's there. And these are simple things, what I call low-hanging fruit, which you can do. There's no cost involved with them, but they really help the impetus of your communication pathways, and it's important to look at them. And going into that, then streamlining purchase pathways. Again, really essentially about communicating the brand and finding the right pathway and structure for you to get your message in front of both new and existing clients. And talk briefly about new client acquisition. Because people say, you know, in this world, it's about engagement of your existing clients, retention, etc. But going back to opportunity, we have certainly found that you can acquire new clients in this new world. It's very, very practical to do, as long as you're organized and you're communicating the message along the right platforms and finding the right platforms to do that. And I'll show you some examples of that as we move forward. In terms of the overall vision of where we're at the moment, so there's been a transition from a temporary solution to integrated offers. Now, the temporary solution, obviously, to use that word pivot again, back in March, April, everyone rushed and scrambled, indeed, from my experience, into the temporary solution of the live stream. I think the second phase of that was to integrate into a hybrid offer. It became a secondary iteration, if you like, and there's technology challenges around that. But the transition from temporary solution to the integrated offer is one of key importance, and we'll just see how we can do that. Stay true and engage with your local community, loyal client base and brand values. And I think one lesson, and I know Phil was asking questions there earlier on, which are very, very relevant. What I have found from our journey through the last 7, 8 months, whatever it's been, is engagement is absolutely important and crucial. And we've continually engaged with our client base, regardless of the status in which we're operating, be that partial closure, reduced capacity, a continual engagement via text messaging platforms, via emails, whether it be through the Frederick platform, marketing platform embedded in Mindbody, or if you choose to use Constant Contact, whatever the format, and Facebook in particular, Instagram, etc. Engagement is absolutely crucial. I think I've seen it's worked for us in keeping our customers engaged. You know, obviously you can't just say, look, you know, we can't deliver the offer, so we'll see you when we reopen. You will lose clients in that, with that choice. And I think everyone is very, very much aware of that. Harness this new medium to strengthen and grow your existing business. And again, I come back to the idea of opportunity. So whilst we are trying to remedy a problem to some degree and engage with our clients and give them an alternative way of exercising, there is also a parallel strategy which will help you grow your existing business. And again, going back to the notion of opportunity and how you can communicate your brand and offering to a far wider audience. I think that there's huge opportunity in this. In every crisis lies this opportunity. So I feel your pain, and I alluded to earlier on, whilst being a digital marketing consultant and Mindbody consultant, I am very much practically involved with the day-to-day operations of a Pilates studio. Our business is Pilates Performance. My partner, Sarah, there is a second-generation master Pilates teacher. And critically, we also have a Pilates teacher training academy, which we've been, and Sarah's been affiliated with Balanced Body in Sacramento as our accreditation partners. And that has become an actual critical part of our business. And I'll talk about that a little bit as we go forward. We closed our business on March the 16th. And again, we pivot to the live stream online very quickly. On June the 29th, we were allowed to reopen, but of course with social distancing, only 50% capacity. So we were trying to juggle that, our in-studio classes with our live stream class offering. And just one other thing here in terms of, you know, the proposition here, what we certainly learned is whilst we recognize what we have to do, I think you also have to, as in any consumer facing business, put yourself in the shoes of the consumer. And whilst we may have these alternative offerings, or we may say, look, we're open, okay, our studio is reduced in capacity, we've got all the hygiene protocols and safety measures in place. What I recognize too from feedback and engagement with clients is that's all very well, but you know what, Paul, I'm really not comfortable. I have someone who is vulnerable at home, and I'm just not comfortable in coming to the studio. So again, there you are offering them the live stream alternative. So the message there is, just because we have reopened doesn't mean obviously that your customers are coming back in any kind of significant numbers. On September the 19th, we could no longer do indoor classes. So again, this yo-yo effect, which I'm sure a lot of you experiences, you know, we can open partially, we can go live stream, we can stream our classes live from the studio, but then suddenly no indoor classes. So we've had to revert back fully to the live stream. This all is challenging. So we then had live stream and one-to-one private appointments, because we were allowed to do one-on-one private appointments. And so, you know, what we did was then very quickly focus on, okay, how can we develop our live appointments? And that has actually worked very, very well. The live stream online teacher training we have developed, as I mentioned, and has been ongoing since March of this year. As of Wednesday, we have gone into a further 6-week lockdown. So here we are, and again, it's become very, very challenging once more. So now we can no longer do the one-to-one private appointments. Okay, hopefully everyone can see the screen there. I want to just talk about revising your brand messaging. So this is all about communicating the value of virtual. Constant client engagement is absolutely critical, as I've said. Future-facing positivity, again, this is around the opportunities which we see within the live stream and hybrid models. And again, communicating that positivity, that this is a new way of doing things. And I think it's very, very important that clients can see that this is not going to be forever. It is an interim type of situation. We will get back in one form or another to the one-on-one in-class experience, and that's usually important for clients to recognize that. The sales pathway, again, it's come up already today. I think making it super easy for clients to purchase from you is very, very important. And again, that goes back to integrating to the software. And I want to show you a few things around using links and embedding links to make it a 2-click, a 3-click purchase gateway there. And I think that's very important. The harder it is and the more barriers there is for clients, it makes it much more challenging. So we want to make sure that pathway is absolutely smoothed out and it's super easy to buy your services. And linking back to the core brand values, so that is always a part of the piece in terms of any communication proposition, that your brand remains constant, I should say. So you know, you're not changing your business, you're just changing the way you are delivering your business. Your brand value is core to that and remains the same at all times. Clarity and understanding. Again, as I already said, I think there needs to be a recognition that this is a new world for clients also. So you really need to hold their hands in terms of taking them through this journey. And that's where the whole simplification of things come in. And I think it was mentioned earlier on about, your content needs to be precise, it needs to be clear, and it needs to be clearly communicated. So customers really understand what they need to do. We put together videos showing how people can engage in the live stream classes, and it is a step-by-step, I suppose, training or retraining of clients on how they can engage with you. And just to bear in mind that it is a new world for your clients as well as it is for you, and just to be aware of that as we go forward. So the question is, where are you now? A changing environment means a changing proposition. And I think Phil had this up earlier on in the presentation too. And it's great to see that no studios are closed. So this particular piece is perhaps not relevant, but I think also bear in mind that there may come a time when your studio will have to be closed. So it's important to be cognizant of that. If your studio is closed, I mean, promotion of live stream online classes and video on demand becomes hugely important. Creating that video library in your virtual wellness platform is hugely important. Leveraging what the video platform can do in terms of integrating your class schedule and making it available online to your customers, that there is a pay path or pay wall there if required. Allow transfer of existing pricing options to live stream option. Now, just to talk about this, what I've found, again, this is real life examples, is we have a Pilates studio. So the majority of our clients prefer reformer. We do reformer and mat Pilates. But of course, once the pandemic hit, we went into various forms of restrictions. We had a very large client database with reformer packs, prepaid reformer packs. Now, obviously, we haven't issued one refund as yet. But what we allowed very quickly was for clients who had reformer packs, to allow them to use the online mat live stream classes. Obviously, we're cognizant of the fact that people do not have reformers in their homes. So again, this goes around, I'll talk about it in a minute, flexibility. And we find where people look, I have my reformer packs, and can you put them on hold, can you freeze them? What we said, well, look, use them for your live stream classes. And that was a temporary measure. But as we've gone on now, we found more and more people who, if they don't want to come to the studio, we allow them to transfer their reformer pricing options into the same value for live stream. And again, we have a slightly different pricing structure. The live stream, the reformers are more expensive. But it's that area of flexibility I've certainly found from experience that customers are quite appreciative of. So that's important. Studio partial closure, reduced capacity. I think this is probably where a lot of you find yourselves at the moment. And of course, are promoting live stream online classes and the private one-on-one appointments. One thing there we have done, and I would invite everyone to do it if you haven't, is where there is resistance for people trying the live stream, that people say, oh, it's not for me, I'm not technically minded, I can't really fathom sitting in front of a computer doing this. Don't be afraid to offer a free live stream class. And there's a way I'm going to show you shortly on how to do this. Now, I would certainly never be a proponent of giving anything away free. My view is that people don't value things that are free. There's no value to it. In this instance, though, if you can give someone the opportunity to trial a live stream class, I think it's very, very worthwhile. I'm going to show you a way that you can do that also. In terms of the studio open, there's some of you, your studio are fully open, though I think it's probably a diminishing percentage of people at the moment. But what I still encourage there is to promote the hybrid classes and the video on demand. There's no reason why you can't. And I think it all goes back to what I said earlier about being prepared, because your studio may be open now, but again, we're not clear about what's going to happen in the future. So I think having a very resilient offer in terms of your hybrid classes and your video on demand classes is very, very important now. And again, an element of this is about planning. As we all know, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So this needs to be, in my view, a concurrent offering at all times at this point. And then you, from there, developing new intro offers of hybrid memberships. And we'll touch upon that in a moment. And there's a variety of ways we can look at that. A few things, what, in my view, you need to do now to compete. There's 6 things to consider. Adaptability, I think, again, it's a common theme from this discussion so far. You need to be able to move quickly in a changing environment. I think that's hugely important. And I mentioned flexibility. There are new ways of doing things, and I think we all need to embrace that and be very flexible, even when it comes to pricing and allowing the transfer of pricing, etc. Engagement, I've talked about already. Continual engagement, client communication is absolutely critical. The delivery of your brand and your service becomes ever more important in terms of content management and what platforms you deliver your message on. And another key one to me is be authentic and be true to your brand philosophy and get client buy-in. And authenticity, I think, is greatly appreciated by customers. Whilst there is certain technological investments that may be required, you know, every smartphone now has a decent video capability, and I think people appreciate the authenticity of that. You know, you don't have to create a Hollywood studio in your house to develop, you know, £1,000-pound videos of your studio. I think, you know, talking to the camera and relating one-on-one with your customers is a very, very effective method in this time. And the last one is simplicity. A clear, concise, and simple. It's a very crowded world, and I think people want to attune into things which they understand that are simple to use and simple to engage with. So they're just a number of areas which I think are very important in this time that you just need to take on board and just understand and just think about a little bit about. Of that, there are some critical components. First of all, you know, I imagine a lot of people have done that, but if you haven't, it's absolutely essential that you create a virtual landing page on your website and integrate a link to Mindbody checkout page. Again, it goes back to making it very easy to buy. When someone hits your landing page, you have your virtual landing page on your website, you want to make sure that they can make it, that the pathway to purchase is very, very clear and simple. That's just an example of a client in London, a Hot U studio, which we developed the landing page from. But as you can see there, by clicking in, this isn't live, to any one of these components here, will take you through to the checkout page. So what you start off with is what we're doing, the message around we are doing virtual yoga classes or Inferno Pilates classes. This is what you need to do in terms of engaging with those classes through a Zoom link or whatever integration partners you have, using the live stream function on Mindbody or an external one if you're using that, as I think many are, things like FitGrid, etc. But making it very, very easy. So it's a clicking to your website, clicking to purchasing an online offer or a 5-day pass or even a drop-in class, that needs to link straight to your Mindbody checkout page. It's effectively 3 clicks and you purchased. One of the things that we did is just to create a pop-up on the landing page to advise clients of your current situation. And just down here, what we have done, and this is our own website here, is, you know, as you can see, due to the recent reduced government restrictions, you know, our classes are cancelled. But here I've also created a link that takes you straight to our virtual class schedule. Again, so it's making it very easy and a streamlined pathway for people to engage with you. Again, most websites where this is a WordPress one, you can create these APIs or interfaces for pop-ups, and I think most web website platforms will have this type of integration or API integration that you can use. Again, I mentioned allowing clients to transfer previously purchased pricing options to live stream options on a value-for-value basis. Again, we've allowed, you know, you could have 10 reformer or indeed yoga classes. That may translate into 15 live stream mat classes. And I think customers are very appreciative of that. So what you're doing also is when you go back to, in our case, the in-studio reformer classes, what we've ensured is that people don't have a built-up resource of 20 or 30 reformer class credits. We're helping them use it. So when we do reopen, again, we can attract more purchasing through some marketing there, and we can create further revenue streams and cash flow. And that's going to be very important going forward when we do reopen the studio. If you're not running studio classes, promote one-to-one private appointments, if allowed. Again, what we found is we've again allowed people to convert their reformer classes in one-to-one into one-to-one private. So this has actually become an upsell, because our individual one-to-one privates at 75 euros are more expensive. So again, if you have someone with 10 or 20 reformer classes, and again, I'm sure it's not for everyone in terms of doing private appointments, but it is a viable option and it becomes an upsell. Again, promoting free live stream classes for clients to try, as I've already said, I think is a very, very good idea and not something you should be afraid of. And we'll come to that in a second. In terms of pricing ideas, I think this all starts with planning. We're going to talk about some pricing architecture tomorrow as it relates to this new world we live in. This is just a document that I created, which I'm just going to share here. It's going to take a moment to open, but what it really is it's just a planning document. And I think when you start thinking about pricing options, I think it's important to get a starting point from where you can look at all these options. Sorry, it's just taking a moment to open there. And I think by planning out in a stream fashion, as we've done here, apologies, it's taking a little bit of time to open there. I think it focuses the mind before you jump into your core software and start messing around with price. You can do this, and I'll talk tomorrow, and I'll show you tomorrow a spreadsheet which will help you do this as well. But what I just looked at here is we were looking at a monthly unlimited membership, which included live stream and video on demand for 99 euros. So what I wanted to try and do here is, well, what does that include? It includes access to video on demand, unlimited live stream, and access to the hybrid live stream for 99 euros a month. We then said, well, maybe we want a monthly premium membership, which included, again, this depends the status of your studio. This is the time when we were still open for classes. So maybe you want a monthly premium membership where our clients can have live stream and video on demand and in studio. So it gives them the option, and this is where you get into the real hybrid integration for your service proposition. And this, you know, may be 199 euros a month. Again, these are just ideas, but as well as the traditional, the video on demand, live stream, and hybrid, I also have access, or the client has access to in-studio classes. Again, and then there may be a monthly in-studio class membership, which another option which we had, which again entitles all of the client to all of these options. But what we've done here is we've limited it to a max of 12 classes per month, and on the previous one, maximum 8 classes a month. So, you know, the in-studio isn't unlimited because of the capacity restrictions. So it's just I suppose it's a bit of a mind map to kind of just help you navigate through how it's best to structure your pricing architecture at this point. And just some notes: video on demand must have a pricing option and paywall. And again, this is available in the Mindbody software now. Live stream must have valid pricing options. Again, these are somewhat self-evident. The hybrid meaning that they are streamed live from the class. And then contracts can be set up for each of these individually, allowing and not allowing access to video on demand. So this all can be done in Mindbody. And there, you know, you can look at this is in the pricing structure of your class. I'm sure you can see it here. You can create a paywall for any individual classes, or indeed a paywall behind your video on demand and your live stream offering if you choose to do so. So just wanted to share this. It's a bit of a mind map, but it can be a good place to start. So I'm just going to just jump back in here to the presentation. So well, new pricing, again, we're talking about new world pricing ideas. One very good option within Mindbody is credit pricing. Now, I'm not going to go into huge detail here, but this is just an example from Glow24. So it's a great option to facilitate cross-pricing membership options. So where you have an option which sits, as per my last screen, to include maybe in studio classes, live stream classes, or attending in hybrid classes, the credit pricing gives you this option. So what you're effectively and ostensibly doing is allowing your clients to purchase credits as opposed to an individual pricing option. They then have the power and the flexibility to apply that credit to what they want to do. So it could be, for example, in this example, 24 credits will be a four-week membership option, allowing you to use in studio or live stream or hybrid. This will be, you can purchase 16 credits for 129 euros. So varying levels of credit depending on the client's budget and the membership option. There's a very good article by a colleague, Chris Spear, in Mindbody. I'm not going to go into it, but it will be in the presentation. And I'm sure Megan could perhaps put up that link, because it goes into detail in a very useful manner on how you can set up pricing, your credit pricing options within Mindbody. And I recommend you have a look at that. It's not going to suit everyone, but it is a very good option for pricing. In terms of the pricing options we've just discussed, there's also, we need to look at creating custom audiences and segmentations directly from the Mindbody software reports. And I think this is, again, an area of integration which is hugely important here. So, you know, and I know Patrick will go through some of the reporting stuff here, but in terms of, you know, existing members, find out your existing members. It's all available in your Mindbody reporting there, using the filters and going to your mailing report in the core software. And by tagging clients there, you can create a whole list of your existing clients and with their emails and indeed their phone numbers. And what this does is create, in the first instance, your overall existing client database. Another interesting one is big spenders. Again, reports, there's a big spenders report in Mindbody, which is very useful. If you look at the last 6 months, tag them and put them into your mailing report. And again, the reason big spenders is, you know, that these are clients very much engaged with you. So you can tailor various offers, whether it be the new credit pricing or any other new construct in terms of your virtual video on demand or hybrid membership options, and target those big spenders, because in your view, these are people who are likely to buy from you given their purchasing experience. Class package purchases, again, you can segment by sales by service. You can look at people who for the last 6 months have bought packs off you, for example. Again, you might want to target them and say, okay, these are clients that have purchased packs from us. Maybe I want to put our new hybrid membership option in front of them and see if this would interest them going forward. Drop-in only purchases, same thing applies. You can look at these, you can filter them in your reports, and again, you can tag them and retrieve from Mindbody their contact details. So this is about audience segmentation and about knowing your audience. I think it's very, very important that you are communicating the right proposition and offering to the right audience. So for drop-in purchasers who've just been buying, you know, a drop-in yoga class or Pilates class, maybe you want to offer them your new intro offer for your new live stream package. And again, you can segment these within Mindbody and then extract their contact information and market them directly. Intro offer no return is an important one as well. So, you know, you will have clients who for whatever reason, have bought your intro offer, but they have not returned. Again, from the mailing, you want to segment and target them to say, look, you know, we have a new intro offer or we have a new membership offer. So this is about segmenting what you do and targeting your audience from there. Again, then you can create target audience, you can create links, which I'm going to talk about, and you can embed links into any type of marketing platform you wish, be that through social media, through the email, through text, whatever. So that's hugely important. From these audience segments, you can create customized targeted audience to showcase your new virtual offer. For example, Facebook ads, which is one I use a lot. You can save the audience you've created in Mindbody in a CSV format in your computer, and you can create new Facebook ad campaigns using customer lists. Now, I want to talk about this because, again, in terms of what I have always done, you know, effective marketing is about absolute micro targeting your audience, and that's why segmentation is important. Relevance becomes a huge factor here, that you are promoting your offering to something that is relevant to your customers. And what's a very good way of doing this is customer lists in Facebook. And I don't know if many of you do Facebook ads, you may do Facebook posts, which is great. But customer lists in the Facebook ad allows you to create this segmentation, upload it into Facebook. And remembering, these people know you already. They've already been engaged with you. So you can actually micro-target them on social media and put in front of them the service proposition, the offer that you want. So it's a very, very useful way of doing it. These become highly targeted campaigns. Customers already know you. Include video, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Embed link. You can use remarketing tools in Facebook, so you can retarget them for people who are empty shopping carts, who have not purchased from you. And you can create lookalike audiences in Facebook. So of the audience that you know you already have because they're on your Mindbody site, you can also in Facebook then create lookalike audience, where Facebook will find within their whole platform an audience which is similar to the one that you have targeted. So that's an idea around preparing customer lists and market segmentation. From all the marketing I do, video is king. Don't be afraid to communicate with new and existing clients using video. It's become the most powerful tool. YouTube, as you know, is probably the most powerful video platform. It's owned by Google. You know, 79% of users say they have a YouTube account. You know, there's 1 billion hours of video watched every day on YouTube. You know, the mobile traffic, 37% of all internet traffic is, and these are figures from last year, is through YouTube. So this is a powerful platform. And I would invite you to, if you already haven't, create your YouTube channel, upload your videos there, and you can use that as a library for transferring into your video on demand library on Mindbody. These days, I think people are, you know, we become lazy. They don't want to read things. I think they want to see the visual. And it's important that video creation and video content is done very, very well. So create your own YouTube selection of videos, use a base to create your own video on demand. Create mixtures. I mean, what we found is creating mixtures of 1, 5, 15, 3-minute videos, or up to 10-minute videos even, can be used on Facebook. And it's about demonstrating what your brand is all about. Use live demonstrations, how clients can access your virtual platform. Again, I think this is about talking one-on-one with your either prospective or existing audience. Embed your video on demand platform on your website. It's usually important as well once you've created that library. Ensure your design and brand your videos so that they are bespoke to your business. And I'll come to that in a second. And just, I'm going to give you a live example of this. This is, I'm not going to show you the whole video, but this is a video that we created. It's very much around our client teacher training. This was a 3-day video. So there were 3 consecutive videos that we did over 3 days. Now, I just want to show you here, you can use Creative Studio in YouTube, or there are various software platforms you can use, some free, some not. but making sure it's bespoke to your brand. There's some messages you can use here. Again, it's a call to action, unique membership offer. I think the power of this is hugely important, and it's verified. And I'll just tell you, we did a 2-week promotion here. We had a reach. We targeted London, Paris, Singapore, and Beijing as markets for our product here. We had a reach from this campaign of 556,000 with an engagement level of 320,000 people. Engagement being that people did something on this video. They clicked the link. They looked at the video more than once. The video was viewed in various time lengths of 482,000 times, and it was viewed in full, and this is a 9-10 minute video, nearly 45,000 times. So the reason I'm saying that the power of video is immense, and I invite you to adopt that wherever you can. It's very, very engaging. Of this, we actually had 5 conversions. Now, that seems like nothing given the reach, but this was a high-end ticket. We were selling a €4,500 mentorship program. So 5 conversions, you know, was 22,500 euros. But given that we invested €750, you can see the return on investment is 3,000%. Now you can do this obviously for your yoga package, your membership offers, etc. It's just a very powerful tool. So I'm just going to go back into the presentation. So integrating virtual into your offers. Stop promoting things that don't sell. Again, going into some of the data, look at what's not selling, simplify, eliminate, and indeed hide things that you don't use, that aren't relevant to this new reality, as it were. Explicit call to actions in all your communication, and 2 clicks or even 3 clicks or less for customers to get to your car. Again, just an example, just from a video, from an email format. Get your free live stream online. Again, it's a 1 click, and I'm in to buy that free live stream, which we talked about earlier. Leverage and integrate the tools at your disposal on Mindbody. Again, this is, to me, an important slide. Of those who are not aware, the links functionality in Mindbody is there for everyone. Every communication piece of clients, prospects, or existing, I would suggest, should contain a link back to your virtual landing page and or your Mindbody checkout page. Hugely important. There is nothing I put out there in terms of marketing that doesn't have an embedded link in it. And the other thing is promotions. Again, underutilized, and you know, it's a very effective tool to allow clients to use a promotion code to access, for example, that free class. Again, I'm just going to jump into the software because I think it's important just to give you a live example of it. So if we look at the links here, I'm in our Mindbody site now. It's over in your manager's tools, and here we go, links. Okay, so these are all the options I have here. So from the app to home to reports, marketing. But what I tend to use is, for example, if I want to put out, we have a new class live stream schedule. I want to promote it. I'm going to go into my studio classes, and I'm going to look for that. So this is going to be under live stream virtual Mac classes, all class types, all level types. I can start it on a particular day, or perhaps I want to get the whole week view. Locations, okay, we just a 1 location. I want to use all of my staff members. You can use the current date, or you can select a date going forward. What I do is I click on this and I right click and copy it. And the beauty of this is you can then preview it in consumer mode. So when your client clicks on this, this is what they're going to see. So they're going to see your full live stream schedule. They can sign up for it now. Just by clicking that, they're going to obviously have to go into their account and buy it. Again, it's about making it very, very easy. And similarly, let's sign back in here. The promotions sorry, I'm going to have to just sign back in. The promotions feature within Mindbody is, again, usually underutilized in my view, and a very important tool which you can leverage. And it's a tool there within Mindbody that you can use to your benefit. Again, if I'm going to go to home and I'm going to go to manager tools. Okay, and I'm going to go to promotions here. Okay, now what I'm just going to show you here is I'm just going to show you a promotion that we did previously. Again, you can see there's loads of different ones there that we have done in the past. But if you look at this is the free, I mentioned about giving away a free class. So what I did is you can go through, it's quite intuitive how you set this up. I've named it, but this is the code. You can generate a random code, which is a numerical one, but I put live free. So in any communications we did with clients, whether it was through text, whether it was through email, or through Facebook, whether it be paid or organic posts, I'm saying use live free at checkout. And when you go into your account and check out to buy a single class, once you put live free in there, it will reduce the cost of the class, which in our case was 10 euros, to 0. So you've effectively given them a free class. So there you can see it's a percentage, it's 100%. I have various start dates and end dates. Now, the one I would say a slight anomaly, and maybe someone from Mindbody can give advice on this, just to be aware that if your client is on this, they can actually buy more than one free live class. If they buy one and come out and go back in to try and buy another, they won't be able to. So what you can do here is you can include a whole service category, a revenue category, or an individual item. So you can go, this will take you to your pricing options page. You can search by all fields, and it will bring up all the pricing options. So you can pick out a specific class, which in our case was a single drop-in. So again, underutilized, a very useful and tool in the Mindbody core software. And I'm just going to go back in again to the software, into the presentation, I should say. I would use links in all communications across all platforms. Make it super easy for your customers to learn about your virtual offers. You can do this in the branded app, automated and designed emails through the platform in Mindbody, or if you choose to use a separate platform, text promotions, Facebook, Instagram, video on demand, Google My Business. Google My Business, again, it's a free platform by Google. It's under their Maps category. It helps your SEO integration, or say SEO listing for your website. It's free. You can create offers there. You can create video content there. Again, underutilized. Again, going back to links, as you can see here, the branded app tools, or we do a lot of text marketing as well. Always use, I would say, shrink your URL. You can use bit.ly and various URL platforms you can use to shrink the links, and that's important. Also, and I think this came up earlier, the video on demand link in your main navigation is a very, very useful tool. Using your branded web account portal link on your website. Again, try and drive people to your app using the branded mobile app to display your video content. And this is all available now in terms of integrations within Mindbody and the wellness platform, and a very, very useful and very good consumer facing tool. As you can see here, the VOD link can be in your main navigation on your branded app now, which is very, very useful in terms of where customers can see you and give you presence. Using the branded web account portal link on your website. Again, that's the integration tool whereby you can integrate your core software with your website, and the branded mobile app and push notifications. And push notifications are hugely important. Again, this stuff is free. Embed your link, as I've shown you, to your offer and push it out there. Now, this is for your existing clients, but it's a huge communication tool for your integrated offers, and it's free. Um, in terms of, sorry, excuse me, let's go back one there. In terms of how you, sorry, I'm just gonna, streamlining the purchase paths. And again, I think there's other presentations which are going to look at the sales funnel and creating that purchase path. Again, start with free, a taste of, or, this is an introduction, or, your intro. I think you need to look at creating new intro offers for your new pricing structures in this virtual world. Give people a taste of what membership looks like. Again, it's a new world for them. They maybe want to just try it first. We've seen numerous examples of that. But in terms of your sales funnel, again, keep them engaged. Once they've tried it free, they might try to purchase a drop-in class. They then might try your intro offer. Then going back to the segmentation, you can then target them. Well, you try the intro offer, maybe a membership will give you a more expansive view of what you can do. So you could do perhaps in classes and video on demand and live stream. And there's a downsellers option as well, that, people may just want to stay on the live stream. So, it can move up and down. But again, streamlining the purchase path, I think we'll talk a little bit more about that little later. Short video tutorials, again, using the video, whether it be on Facebook and Instagram, on how people can engage with you. What are the steps to buy the intro offer? What is the sales process during the intro offer? So again, if I go back to the schematic, I think it's important to map out what that is. What is the transfer of the pricing throughout levels? And using remarketing and retargeting. Again, I won't get into it here, using Facebook pixels, lookalike audiences to create a wider reach, going back to the opportunity for new client acquisition. And again, just some examples of things we have looked at and done in terms of Facebook. Okay, that just goes back to our previous video, the live stream offer. Again, that they're clicking through using the embedded links into the class schedule. Streamline the purchase path, write the headline and description is important, record and then promote. The reason for this is, how do people find you when they Google you? So if you're creating video content, which may be 15 or 30 minutes, the headline on that is quite often very, very important. So just some examples of there on the screen on how to classify, particularly in YouTube, what your video is about. So again, making it very, very easy for people to find you. Surely you can't attract and acquire new clients if your studio is closed, partially closed, or which greatly diminished capacity. Wrong, I would say. Since initial closure of our business, so we're, from the 4th months in March 16, we've acquired 151 new clients. It can be done. Again, I think it needs to run parallel with maintaining your engagement with your existing client base. Again, it's by exploring new routes to market. I'm just going to put these up quickly because I'm cognizant of the time. Corporate classes, we've seen a big demand for corporate classes. Again, I think Phil touched on it earlier on, that, as employers, they want to make sure people are exercising. We've brought on a number of corporate clients, and you can create various bespoke pricing options. And private appointments I've already talked about. Again, if you can't do in-studio classes, is a very good option. Early morning classes, I know a number of you are doing them, but I think if you're working from home, this becomes a very interesting proposition that I can start the day out. The consumer app, ensure you have compelling live stream virtual intro offer on the consumer app from Mindbody. Again, so people can find you in terms of new client acquisitions more generally. Teacher training modules, we've found this hugely effective. Prior to COVID, about 20 to 22% of our revenue emanated from our teacher training modules. That's gone up to 43%. Last week, we did a formal level 1 online training module. We had people from Taiwan, from Austria, from Germany, from the UK, and from America on it. So again, going back to that wider opportunity to enhance your brand. So as a recap, revised brand messaging, client communication are crucial. Integrated offers, again, it's a bit of a new mindset. Simple and flexible pricing models are important. Video is king, in my view. I think If you haven't really gone into video, it's time to do that. Leverage and integrate the Mindbody tools. The promotion tool, the links are hugely important. And yes, you can acquire new clients. And from getting visibility for a virtual office. So harness all the communication pathways. Don't get stuck on any one. Try things if they work. Segment, try different audience types, try different offers. It's hugely important. And thank you for your time. I've gone slightly over here, but I just wanted to actually end on that slide, which is in mine, but I think it's by another colleague. So if you have any questions, I think it will be put up in Mindbody 1, and thank you for listening.